now the machine's saying no. I anticipate very soon that the corporations or the government are going to cut off regular people's access to functioning versions of artificial intelligence. We'll get the
Yeah,
slop. I mean, you could argue we already have that. That's what we've got, the slop generators now,
yeah,
puking out all the stolen art and stuff. But I think the actual useful models are going to be siloed away for corporations and for the government and
yeah.
for super rich people, and that's going to be it. Because they're talking about this tokenization stuff. I guess a lot of this has been subsidized,
Yeah.
whether we know it or not. All of these tech companies are leveraged. We
Oh
covered
yeah.
this. We covered this a few episodes ago, but it's actually way worse than I thought it was.
No, I've been telling you, it's really bad. They have leveraged themselves to the point they have no more expenditure. They can't go any further. The
Yeah.
problem is they're not seeing any return on their investment.
Well, they're okay. The business model is this: they need a consumer base, and in the beginning, they didn't have one beyond that. It's a novelty, and they needed to start pushing the usefulness of this stuff. So I feel like that's why we got the grade A premium, Mega Diamond Platinum
Yeah,
version about a year
yeah,
ago. That's when we started getting the actual legitimately useful stuff, was last year.
yeah,
And now, because of the power requirements, the bandwidth
yeah,
requirements, the
yeah,
water requirements for all of these fees are racking up on their end. They're
yeah.
gonna have to start shifting that onto the customer base, and
Oh, they are.
it's gonna reach a point of diminishing returns. Lower tier folks like myself and you are going to be the first ones that drop their subscriptions because it's just going to get too expensive. Or the alternative is they cut so many of the features that it's no longer useful for us, or it's only useful for, say, a day or two, maybe.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed my model that I've been dealing with is progressively using more and more tokens for the same amount of material.
Yes.
So I'm getting less actual productivity out of the model in the same amount of time. Really, it's just like what I'm running out of time every time. Like, what? We didn't do anything. We haven't done anything.
Well,
I'm sorry. You have to wait till tomorrow. Well, screw you. I'm not waiting till tomorrow. I'm going to somebody else's model.
I'm afraid as a fiction writer that because of all the scammers and slammers out there, that
Yeah.
eventually the functionality that I've been using it for as a fictional tool is going to start getting hemmed up to the point where I can't use it anymore because it's breaking some kind of safety terms because it thinks I'm trying to do, isms or ists when
Yeah.
I'm writing a fantasy universe thing, but it doesn't care. It sees words that happen to align with a thing that it's not supposed to interact with or do, or maybe it reports me to the GAO or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's just not going to function for that anymore. Which at that point, what the hell am I paying for? That's why I'm using the thing. So why
Well,
would I
and
pay for it anymore?
I noticed I got two different emails from both of the models that I've been using. They've changed their terms of privacy. And
Yes,
so,
Anthropic. I got that one today. I think Gemini did that as well earlier
yeah,
this
they
month.
did. They did. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, so you're telling me everything that we've done, basically, you've been training on.
Yes.
It
Well,
would
I
have been
assumed
good to
that
know
was the
that ahead
case
of time.
anyways.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I have some proprietary information that I would rather not be trained on. Okay, I did. I did get a model. I paid for intro. I have my own server basically, and I downloaded just a basic Olama model and did a little bit of tinkering with it. It is so slow. It is unbelievable. It's not even functional, and about half the time it just times out. So I've got to find a better host really if I'm going to be running my own model. Um, But it's to the point you don't trust these models because you don't know where's my data going to end up.
Well,
Um,
I assume if I'm putting stuff on the internet, I assume that some people that or organizations that I don't want to have access to it are going to have access to it anyways.
yeah,
It's a trade-off for using the tech. I don't want it to be the case. I do not consent to that being the case. I just don't personally have any control over it beyond just not using it in those tools on the internet.
Well, FISA, we haven't got that situated yet, even though they said, well, it's expired. It really hasn't. They're still fighting, to get that back instituted. But it's very obvious that the Five Eyes they don't spy on American people, but this country over here spies on American people, and then they trade information amongst another. So they're not really doing anything illegal. It's just a loophole that they fixed for themselves so they can still do the things that, I don't know.
We give ourselves permission after the fact to do the thing that we already did and will continue to do.
Yeah.
So now it's legal. Now that you pointed it out, general dumb public. So this is the Iranian jellyfish drone swarm you were talking about?
Yeah. This is the F-15 SE. Apparently, this was back in April, and this was one of the ones they shot down the F-15. Apparently from a RPG, which right off the bat says something. If they took it down with an RPG, they were really, really good. I don't think that was the case, but what the story is now coming out is that this jellyfish drone swarm actually is what took them out. These were the guys that they found one like immediately after it went down. I think it was probably the actual pilot. The weapons officer was the one that they had to find in the mountains. He hid for like 2 days, and they had to use some new technology to find his heartbeat signature, which I guess we have this new technology that allows them to zero in on his particular heartbeat signature, which is really cool. But anyway, let me play this real quick, and we'll just get kind of an idea what I don't know if this is really good or not. Okay, pull it up. Sorry, man.
It's all right. I needed that on the soundboard anyways. You couldn't hear that?
Yeah, I could hear it.
Okay, I was just making sure because I didn't see that.
So a lot of articles on this, but we're using CNN's exclusive. Down U.S. pilot reports seeing Iranian drone swarm in jellyfish formation. Zachary Cohen and Katie Bow Lillies contributed to this. So again, we take everything with a little bit of caution because this is leaked information if it's true at all. Because if it's real, it's classified. Someone said something they probably shouldn't have from the debrief. And if it's not, then somebody hallucinated it. So we kind of temper our expectations. Not to say that it's not real, but we'll talk about why it might be and why it might not be. So anyway, a fighter jet pilot rescued by special forces after being shot down in April described a shocking sight. Multiple drones hovering in the air, moving as one in a formation that resembled a jellyfish, according to four sources familiar with the matter. The account, which has not been previously reported, was shared by the F-15 pilot with intelligence officials during a debriefing after the incident. That's what I'm talking about, right? Where if it's going to intelligence officials, this should not be leaked, so may or may not be accurate. It immediately set off a firestorm of debate within the intelligence community that is yet to be resolved. If the airman saw what he described, a formation moving in unison, it would be an alarming advance in Iranian drone capabilities. It says multiple drones interconnected and moving as one with smaller drones below the bigger drones like legs. The sources said, real alien shit. Another source told CNN the pilot described witnessing a minefield of drones in the air. While the exact cause is under investigation, it's possible that some way enabled Iran to shoot down the American jet. It is the first time an aircraft has been shot down over Iran in conflict. You'll recall that an F-35 was hit, but not shot down. But then the A-10 was downed, and then obviously we had the Scuttle, the MC-130. Now there's some disagreement. The intelligence officials actually now say, hey, maybe not, because he was concussed during the crash, and it was his second ejection, second time being shot down. He had been one of the pilots down in the F-15E versus Kuwaiti Hornet shoot down like a month earlier, according to this. And then the intelligence official said, are you sure you saw what you're saying you saw? and no one else basically will corroborate this at all. This is not something U.S. intelligence has ever assessed to be a possibility, but they could be receiving help from China and Russia.
And that's what the story is, that apparently some technology came from Russia or China. I think it was China that actually a ship had come in, or maybe a plane had flew in with some tech from China. This may have been some tech that they had in I don't know, they gave Iran for this particular purpose. But it's really interesting, and the guy's been shot down twice over. That doesn't bode well for him. But whatever.
Technical term for capability is described as one-to-many mesh networking. Russia and China are believed to have the capability. Any development in Iran's already sophisticated drone warfare program would be concerned for U.S. forces. And then basically, drone experts are saying, if this is true, it's a big deal, and we're going to spend a lot of money defending it.
So yeah,
we already knew this was coming, though. We already knew this was coming. And
so, is it true?
Yeah.
The problem that the U.S. military is facing right now is that we're going head to head with a parity state actor, and up until this point, we have only been like dropping bombs on third worlders that really can't fight back at the same technological level. So we're going at this like we would the third worlders, and we're running into what should have been expected resistance.
Yeah.
And should have had pre-planned solutions before going up against parity level state actors, and we don't. And it's apparent that we don't.
Yeah.
And the way that we know that we weren't prepared for this is this conflict has gone on way fucking longer than it should have. And everybody's pointing this crap out.
Yeah.
Really, the only way to defend against drone swarms like this is with your own cyber warfare or directed energy. That's it. There's no kinetic solutions. You can't just throw another drone swarm at a drone swarm.
Well, technically you could. I don't know.
You could, but then you just be out a drone swarm.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're talking these drones can be, $1,000 or under $1,000 for each one. Where we're sending in one missile is what, a couple of $100 million? Maybe not that much, but more money than we need to be spending on missiles. It's very obvious, Ukraine is the one that's been using this technology. I don't know where they got the tech, but they've been really building this type of warfare. It's a whole new landscape, and it's a whole new battlefield looking at this technology. And now we've got AI that's actually able to maneuver these things. So, wow,
I'm sure this will get us on some kind of a list, but not for nothing, but you or I could go out and buy a drone right now for $500 or less.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy those gas station dealies for like $70.
Oh yeah.
And then jailbreak it and do whatever the fuck you want with it. It's not even, this ain't top secret information. I need to go to julianassange.com for that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they've got, with state level funding and resources, and they don't have to worry about the feds poking around their warehouses building these things. Way better shit than that. So the best that they can do with their $1,000 drones is pretty scary by comparison.
Yeah, it is.
These aren't goat herders. People need to get this shit out of their heads. I'm hearing way too many boomers. They're just heads filled with hot air over the capabilities of our supposed enemies. This ain't going to go down how these people think it's going to go down.
We have 3 major cybersecurity threats. China is our major threat actor right now. They're number 1. Russia is number 2. They have been number 1 in the past, but they're kind of losing ground. Number 3 is Iran. Those suckers have the technology. They have the mental technology. They know how to do this stuff. They're attacking us daily, and nobody wants to talk about it.
How many?
So these are not just goat herders. I'm sorry.
How many more times are we going to have to get the line? that we have totally destroyed their military, we have totally destroyed their navy, we have totally destroyed their air force. Well, if they're totally destroyed, then why can't we totally get the fuck out of there already? If the threat's been dismantled, then what are we doing there? I thought we bombed their nuclear facilities.
Well, we did.
Midnight Hammer. I thought we destroyed all their military. We destroyed all their navy. We destroyed the.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I know that's the point. So mission accomplished, I guess.
I don't know if you saw. I saw this earlier, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it. They boarded a ship. Apparently, there it is. I think that was. Oh wait, no, that was a day ago. Okay.
To the latest efforts to end the war with Iran. President Trump says the U.S. and Iran are close to a deal, but the situation appears uncertain after an Iranian drone strike on a vessel in the Strait of Hormuz. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is tracking it all from the White House. Rachel, good morning.
Wait, good morning to you. And this is a clear escalation, and it's unclear this morning how this is going to impact the ongoing negotiations on making a longer-term deal to end this war. We are told that Iranian forces launched a drone strike on a cargo ship that was passing in the Strait of Hormuz. The strike stopped traffic in the Strait. Oil prices jumping after the attack, but have fallen below $70 a barrel this morning. All of it, though, contradicting the president, who just hours earlier and later claimed that the Strait was open as he praised the talks. But Iran has imposed new conditions forbidding ships from traveling outside of its approved shipping lanes. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has also made it clear that if Iran tries to interfere with ships passing through the Strait, that would be a violation of the agreement that the president just reached with Iran. So now this is raising many questions on where this goes from here.
All right, we'll stand by for news on that. And Rachel, turning to the Supreme Court now, the administration won some victories on immigration.
Yeah. So it's like they keep saying, well, we've got them on the run. They want to make a deal. They're crying to make a deal. And then we get news from the other side where they're saying, oh, no, we don't want to make a deal. They're giving out warnings in the Strait over the radio. If anybody goes into the Strait, we're going to take them out. What?
How do we know? How do we know it was Iranian drones?
We don't. Could be anybody.
How do we know it wasn't ours or Israeli drones or
Russian drones or Chinese drones? We don't know.
Omani, UAE.
Oh, now that's a good thought.
There's a lot of different actors in that area.
This may be something to look at.
Who controls the Strait? Iran says it does. President Trump is now accusing Tehran of what he calls a foolish violation of the ceasefire. Iran carried out a drone strike on a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Trump says that vessel was damaged, but was able to proceed. He also says the U.S. shot down 3 other drones. Scripps News senior White House correspondent Haley Boyle joins us now live from the North Lawn. And Haley, lots of moving parts here, none that seem to fit the definition of a ceasefire. So how is the White House viewing these latest tensions in the Strait?
Well, the U.S. is taking action against Iran this afternoon over what it calls a ceasefire violation. U.S. Central Command saying it carried out strikes against Iranian missile and drone storage facilities, as well as coastal radar sites. U.S. Central Command calling it a powerful response against.
I'm not sure what they're saying. We broke the terms. The MOU basically was laid out, and we were giving them basically everything that they could have possibly wanted. What have we done to break the terms? I've never heard anything that we've done against them since, what, Tuesday?
Did that ship, because I was under the understanding that, allow myself to introduce myself. I had the understanding that they're still going to charge a passage through the Strait. So as far as I know, that's still going on. Did they pay to go through? Or did they forget their Bitcoin payment? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Beyond that, again, going back to, did they claim responsibility for that strike? I've not heard that. And maybe it was them. I don't know. But what proof do we have of it other than the news is saying that that's the case? It's not been the most reputable source of news.
Well, not since Mockingbird, no.
quote, unwarranted aggression. Now, Iran attacked a vessel with a drone on Thursday, according to a U.S. official, while President Trump added that the U.S. also shot down 3 others. That marked the first known aggression in the Strait since the U.S. and Iran signed a memorandum of understanding last week, including a ceasefire and agreement to open the Strait and move into negotiations towards a final deal, offering a test of the limits. It remains to be seen how this moves forward if Iran seeks to respond to this as well. It also comes as traffic.
Obviously, this was a foolish violation of our ceasefire agreement. Well, if that's true, yes, obviously it is a foolish violation. But of course, they kind of hold all the cards right now because they're the ones that are controlling the Strait. So you got to figure out what you're going to do.
Hold on, I'm confused though. I thought their military was totally dismantled. So if their military was totally dismantled, then how are they able to carry out this operation? One of these things is not adding up, man. Math ain't math.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is totally not true.
Traffic had increased through the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route for the global energy market since the MOU was signed, and oil prices have trended downwards. But Iran and the U.S. had offered differing public statements over the management of the Strait. The U.S. and Gulf countries have maintained that it is toll-free, that tolls and fees in the Strait will not be tolerated. Iran agreed to a 60-day period of no tolls during negotiations, but has also tried to assert control of the waterway. Its Parliament's National Security Commission had calling it, quote, ceasefire management, and doubling down that Iran governs the Strait. Now, President Trump hinted at a potential consequence to come after that drone strike in the Strait shortly before U.S. Central Command announced its moves. The president saying this.
I don't like the fact that they took a shot yesterday, actually 4. We knocked down 3 at a ship. Not an allied ship, but a ship, a very expensive ship. And it was fine, but it took a little beating. They shouldn't be doing that. So you'll find out.
Will the U.S.
You'll find out.
Will the U.S. respond? What is your message to Iran?
Respond, you're going to find out.
You're going to find out. Yeah.
They don't want this shit to end, man.
Well, I don't know exactly who's on that end of it. Who's saying that, we need to keep doing this?
Well, this is the problem with forced regime change is that, in the interim, you don't have any control over who winds up in power. And the last episode we did, the new Ayatollah Khomeini, how you pronounce his name, is ideologically in line with his father, the 86-year-old version.
Yeah.
So, again, I posit the question, do we anticipate getting an Iranian in control of Iran that does not have an Iranian mindset?
I don't think we've really gotten any real clear idea of who's in control there. I don't know if he really is in control. Maybe he's already been taken out and we're just not aware of it. There are a lot of individuals in the RGC that would like to step up, and they could at some point have eliminated him and said, maybe the U.S. took him out and we're just going to continue doing what we do. I don't know who's in control. I don't think anybody is, to tell you the truth.
They need to start leading with the carrot and not the stick. They've been doing the stick routine for the past 50 years, and it's not worked. Again, I think we need to treat them like we did China, like a developing nation, because in many ways they are a developing nation. Get them hooked on our trade, and then we can develop relations over there. And the first step in that would be lifting basically all of these sanctions, but at least a few as an olive branch. Instead of approaching every foreign power that is not in lockstep with us on the global stage as though that they were an imminent threat, approach them like a potential trade partner with an olive branch of trade and start lifting some of these fucking sanctions. Give them a reason to want to do business with us in an honorable and peaceful way. Give them at least the option of that. I've not seen that. I have not heard that. I've not heard any of them bring that to the table. Now, I understand there's underlying animosities, particularly when it comes to our, the ally that we're not allowed to talk about. But that shit needs to go to the wayside. That has nothing to do with us. If you want to end a conflict that's been burning for this long, the only way you're really going to do that is to stop punching each other in the face. Make something new. Build something new. Show that you are at least attempting something new. I've not seen it. Have you?
No.
I didn't mean for that to rhyme either.
No,
You're
fine.
constantly doing this. All you can expect is more of this.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe.
Welcome to the video, everybody. It's Friday, June 26th.
Sorry.
I don't think I've ever been accused of being an overly positive person. It just it would seem to me like if you're throwing the sink at something and you've been doing it forever and that's not working, then maybe you need to try a different approach.
Yeah, throw the bathtub instead.
It's something else. Do something else. And if you're
right.
bent on turning Iran into a glass parking lot, then just fire the fucking nuke and be done with it.
Now, wait a minute.
If that's where we're going anyways, just fucking do it. No balls. No balls. You won't do it.
Well,
if you're not going to fucking nuke. Just muted myself. If you're not going to fucking nuke them, shut the fuck up. Make a fucking trade deal. Stop fucking around. You're wasting billions of dollars on this bullshit. We shouldn't have anything to do with it in the first place.
Well, that's the point, is that someone else has already said, they said yesterday, if this continues, we're gonna use nukes. Now
then fucking do it already. Do it.
Well, they don't want to.
It.
They want us to do it because they don't want to look the bad guy. See, we're the proxy that's going to do all the bad stuff, and then they come out looking like, we're the good guys. But I don't know.
Right now, you don't hear the UK getting involved with this, or Germany, or France, or Italy. No. None of them. They're all mum. Mum's the word. We don't want anything to do with this crap either. Otherwise, they'd be sending their forces to do stuff down there, and they're not. Kind of makes you wonder why. They're hoping the good old US of A will clean it all up for them. Or they just don't want the stink on them.
Yeah.
Because there's no part of this conflict that looks moral. It looks like we started it. Because we fucking did.
Because we were the ones that went in, yeah.
At a minimum, we enabled it. Because the Strait of Hormuz was open before all this stuff went down. And now today, I'm here. Oh, all the gas prices are down. Are they? Are they really? I was just looking at this, and yes, oil prices down to between $70 and $73 a barrel. And I went to the pumps today. And by the way, I had to fill up 3 times this week.
Oh man!
Because whatever shit that they're putting into the pumps right now is so fucking watered down. I'm getting 20 miles a tank less for however much fucking ethanol they're pumping into our shit. It's burning that much quicker. So now I have to fill up with plus just to get the same mileage I got from regular.
Yeah.
Nuke them already. No balls. Won't do it. I don't want them to do it, obviously. I'm just saying, if we're going that direction and there's nothing the American people can do as a whole to say, stop this fucking train before it turns into that, then just fucking do it already. If our vote doesn't matter, if our voice doesn't matter, if we have no control over this, and that's the direction that you've chosen, then just fucking do it already. You want to find out if Iran or any of our enemies are willing to use nukes? I don't. No. I don't want to find that shit out the hard way.
No. Now, there was a report 2 days ago, maybe, that the RGC basically said, okay, we're going to allow the nuclear test guys to come in. We're going to let them come in and look at all of our stuff, which is a good thing. But someone brought up the point. I don't remember exactly what podcast it was on. Maybe it was Steve Friend's podcast, the AMRED podcast. This is the same thing that Obama said when he was in
Yes.
the White House.
We already had that deal. It was called the JCPOA, the Joint Coalition, whatever. I forget what it stands for. We already had that. And by the way, the United States did not honor their side of the deal when that was on the table. Iran did. The international community said that they did. And, well, they didn't follow the spirit of the JCPOA. Is what the United States said. They didn't follow the spirit of it, whatever the fuck
what
that
does that
means.
mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to understand. And we've gone through all of this. We've lost 13 lives. If this were, this is another podcast. If this were a CEO and lost $300 billion to a competing company, and we're going to pay, or we've lost $100 billion, then we're going to pay them $300 billion for messing with their company. You'd be fired. You would go to jail for at least manslaughter for those 13 people. What is up with this? We're no better off than we were to begin. We're actually worse than we were to begin with.
Yeah. Even if this all goes away tomorrow, the Strait's open, we get some kind of shit deal with Iran, but it goes back to business as usual. At this point, trillions of dollars of damage has been done to both to the United States, between the United States, all of our allies, all the neutral parties that just did not be involved in this shit, but still got dragged through it because of the trade routes that got affected. Trillions of dollars. And, people died by the boatloads, civilian and military assets.
Yeah, well, and we've still got, thousands of people that are being killed. They're going in a very large group at a time in Lebanon that's not really even involved in this. And I just don't get it. What has Lebanon got to do? I understand Hezbollah, but at some point, you got to say stop. Stop doing what you're doing, because you're not making any sense. You're not making things better. You're making it worse. And I know they have a different mentality in that region. Their religions are different. They have a fervor for their religion, and they will die for their religion. Where used to Christianity was like that. That's been kind of watered down, and that's not the issue anymore. We'll spend a lot of money on stuff, but we're not really thinking about we want to die. There were a lot of Christians that died for the religion in the beginning, and that's what these people are doing. They're dying for their religion. So I can understand, you having an issue with the religion, and they're gonna take over your country. They're gonna take over the world if we let them. But we can't just keep fighting that dogma or that way of thinking. We've got to somehow change that way of thinking. And I understand people have said you can't change the way they think. They only want to kill us. They want to come over here and kill us. They want to kill us all. They probably do. But I don't know, man. I just don't think this is the way to go about it.
History has proven out that you cannot kill an ideology with force. It doesn't work like that. You just galvanize the remaining base. You create fanaticism. We don't live in that world anymore, man. And I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily, but I don't think that you fight a cultural war through kinetic means.
No, no. I don't think you can. You have to actually. We've got to win the hearts and minds.
The proper way to mitigate the problem of religious extremism is properly vetting people before you let them immigrate into your country, and you do so at a trickle pace.
But Europe didn't do that at all, and of course our borders were wide open.
And that
Look
was
at
an
Europe
intentional
now.
choice.
Well, yeah.
Somebody,
From who?
some group, some government body decided that their culture was not worth preserving anymore and wanted to pervert and destroy it, and that is why it was allowed. There is no other greater reason or justification for it. It's just, you could make the argument of replacement population levels weren't at where they needed to be to have enough slaves to turn the wheel for industry. But I don't even know that properly explains it. For America, that makes sense. For Europe and, I guess to a lesser extent, Australia, and now Japan is doing this crap too. It doesn't make sense. You would only do stuff like that. And by the way, it's not going so hot in Japan. It's not going to work there, but they're trying it there too. Japanese X is lit. Have you ever been on Japanese Twitter?
No.
You gotta check it out, man. These guys are based as fuck.
I can't, man. I've been removed from Twitter.
No, just make another account.
Yeah, screw them. Screw you, Elon.
Anyways, yeah, somebody made a decision. Some group of folks made a decision, and now they're reaping the rewards. And this has been going on.
Whirlwind.
This has been going on in Europe since at least 2012. So they've had coming up on 15 years of this unmitigated disaster of forced mass immigration. And there are consequences to this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
A decade's worth here in the States. And not for the first time. They tried this crap back during the Cuban boat crisis, too. Are we going to break the news? Is the news broken?
The broken news, yeah.
Newsroom. It makes me think of the TV show.
I hadn't thought about that in a while. I'm glad you brought that up. But no, this is I found this really interesting. I want to comment on this.
Update for the death toll: 164 people dead and nearly 1,000 injured. But those numbers can go up quickly as this day goes on, with the search and rescue efforts still underway. The search for survivors is on in Venezuela after back-to-back earthquakes Wednesday evening.
Logic, did you bump the harp machine again? I told you to stop putting your coffee on top of that fucking thing.
List buildings to collapse.
It's not the shaking that kills people, it's buildings that kill people. And it's really the collapse of those buildings that can lead to the catastrophic loss of life.
Now, what really is so amazing is that they had two earthquakes. One, I think, was a 7.2, and the next one was a 7.5. They happened within 36 seconds of one another. What are the odds? What are the odds? That sounds
really makes you think.
That sounds like a depopulation exercise to me. I don't know, man. Look at
Because it was a public holiday, many citizens were off work and at home when the country's most powerful earthquake in more than
It was a public holiday. They were at home. What are the odds?
A century hit. And as emergency crews now try to sort through the rubble to rescue those still trapped, the U.S. Geological Survey estimates thousands of people could be killed by the quakes because of how and where they hit.
In this case, it was a very shallow earthquake. It occurred close to people. So, it's very worrying, and we expect it to be very damaging.
In a century, this is the worst they've had. And they had two back to back in 36 seconds. Tell me that's natural. God had a hand in that one? I don't know.
I think it's going to take days to weeks to really understand the extent of this damage.
I leaned out onto the balcony screaming, "We're trapped. We need help."
In the aftermath, it was chaos. Venezuela's main airport covered in rubble, and thousands in Caracas flooded the streets. The U.S. now vowing to help.
A much of collapsed buildings, and so they'll need a lot of help in terms of digging through that.
No,
the airport there is badly damaged.
no.
Yeah, well,
No, this guy's like a bad penny every time something like this happens.
kind of funny. He
Looks like Dr. Evil with hair. Was it hidden with his finger over the button? The Rubio 9000.
What is that behind his head there? Is that Lowe's logo?
Oh, come on, dude.
So we'll have to rely on the Department of War to deploy assets there. And then we're also helping them with some overhead imagery, especially in coastal areas where they don't have full visibility over what the damage has been.
Oh yeah. Well, let's give them some imagery from overhead because we got satellites for all that. So yeah, let's just give them what they need.
We should be able to, from the satellite that triggered this thing. I mean, from the satellite that noticed this thing, be able to get some good imagery.
Yeah.
And several European nations are also deploying specialist first responders to aid in those rescue efforts. Meantime, most homes there are still without drinking water. Internet signal is weak, so it's hard to communicate with loved ones to see if they're okay. And gas services were interrupted to prevent leaks and possible explosions yesterday. So long with.
Yeah, we've taken out their leader. We went in and took their leader by force. But now, for some odd reason, the first time in a century, they have two back-to-back earthquakes, the worst they've had in a century. Killed thousands of people on a holiday when people were at home, not at work. Yeah, this is.
Let me ask you a question. What is the best strategy for the insertion of a medium-sized covert operations group?
Oh wow! Well, search and rescue.
Search and rescue. Yep.
An aid.
Or aid. Civic aid.
Yeah.
Emergency aid. Foreign aid. Red Cross. And by the way, the United States and our allies have all used all of those strategies.
Yeah.
For the insertion of intelligence. Either it, counterinsurgency groups, training, weapons supplying, drug running in the case of, Operation Gladio and
no
stuff. Yeah.
No, never.
So, I mean, if you don't have a ready disaster, like if one hasn't happened organically, then, I don't know, you might need to
harp it up.
You might need to listen to the frequency.
But we don't have that technology, so that's, we don't have chemtrails either, but, that's all a conspiracy theory. Until recently, when the government said, oh, yeah, by the way.
All this thought crime is making my brain hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I got called out this morning for thinking wrong. Wrong think. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm just, that's just me, man. But I did have the comment that is an interesting point that you brought up, that, those were back-to-back earthquakes in 36 seconds. The odds of that happening are very, very slim. It would have not, had it not been for the magnitude of the earthquakes, I could kind of get it. But those are major, major earthquakes. And we've not seen that kind of activity in that area until now. So something's going on, and I don't know. We had a lot of solar flares. I was looking at the solar flares this morning. There's a lot of solar activity that's actually going on right now. Has been going on for a couple of months. But the
Nephilim are waking up in their resurrection chambers underground is probably what's going on.
Yeah.
Now they're digging their way out.
Do you find that strange, or is it just me? I mean, I know I'm strange, but
what was it? Adapt 2030 earlier today was talking about that. And let me see. Did I add that to the lineup? I might have. He should be on my my thingamadoodle here.
On your playlist?
Changes are here. Here it is. Tectonic pressure, volcanoes, droughts across. Where'd it go? Stop playing. Stop with the autoplay.
You know, Yosemite's been going through hell for like 3 years. They keep saying, you know, it's going to explode any time, but nothing happens yet. So
I'll save that one here. I got to take a quick break, man.
okay, man.
Did you want to play this one?
Yeah. This is from the news, I think this evening. 53 minutes ago.
Central Command says American aircraft struck Iranian missile and drone storage locations and radar sites along the coast. It's been just over a week since President Trump signed the deal with Iran promising to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but then moving quickly to impose new rules, issuing warnings like this one. The audio posted by maritime security expert Martin Kelly.
Any vessel attempts to transit in the strait without our permission, it's responsible for any consequences of any danger.
And then there's the larger question of the nuclear talks, Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Earlier today, the president once again saying Iran really wants to make a deal.
They're dying to make a deal. They're giving us a lot.
But less than 2 hours later, the U.S. attacking Iran once again. And David, we're learning the U.S. attacks are now over. The Strait of Hormuz, such a flashpoint in these negotiations. And tonight, a U.S. official telling us those strikes are meant to send a very strong message that ships must be able to pass freely.
And I don't know if you've seen the map that they show. All of the ships that are sitting in the strait, they're just sitting there. They can't go anywhere. It's crazy. They're dying to make a deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are screwing the entire fucking world over this stupid conflict. The entire fucking world is getting screwed by this. Basically, all global trade of some kind from every nation passes through the strait.
And this started because they said, well, they're 2 weeks away from making a nuclear weapon.
Which
but now
is
we've had
bullshit.
We've had 2 different countries offer them, well, 3 that now that I think of it, have offered them nuclear weapons. So I don't think this is stopping. It's not deterring them from getting. If they really want one, they can get one. That's not what the whole thing is about, and I don't believe that really was.
No.
It's another smoke screen. Look over here while we do something over there. Transparency is the distraction. Sorry.
I don't know exactly what it's about. If Iran has, like Ukrainian soil or something, or it's because of their oil, or maybe just because of where they're geographically located. I'm not sure what the deal is, or maybe it's just the, I don't know, billions-year-old beef between them and Israel, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't frankly care. We need cooler heads to prevail. We need the adults in the room, because it's pretty obvious they're not.
There are no adults in the room. The problem is we, the American people, have nothing to do with this. We're at the mercy of whoever does whatever they're going to do. The Iranian people are in the same boat. If you look 20 years ago, that country was just as Western as any country could have been. They had a lot of technology. They had capitalism.
Yep. Same with Libya before we fucked around and found out there too. They
and
were
now
largely westernized.
We just keep hitting them with a stick.
Yes.
And that's just going to piss the donkey off. I'm sorry.
Well, we armed and trained the radical factions, and in many cases radicalized them to the extremist Wahhabi Deobandi movements, and it was our CIA. By the way, Al-Qaeda literally translates to the database. It was the database of the thousands of Afghan and Mujahideen fighters that were
was
under the CIA's payroll.
Yeah. Yeah.
This ain't conspiracy stuff. This is history. And a lot of people still, to this day, don't know this.
Well, and that's part of the deal, is that they make sure that people are not aware of this. They don't want people, they put it out in plain sight, but of course, that's how you hide stuff. You put it out there where everybody can see it and then go, oh, no, that couldn't be it. So I don't get it. Why are we going to war? Well, it's a military action, not a war, no, military action, or I guess I don't know. I don't know. This is just, nothing makes sense anymore. I think every day I wake up, I'm going to be waking up in another world. And it just gets crazier and crazier. And it just can't keep getting crazier. It can't. Is it me? I know I'm losing my mind, but come on.
No. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Too soon, bro. Too soon. 70 years later, too soon.
It really does feed into some things that we're dealing with today. I don't know, man. He gave that speech, and it was like, 10 days later, he was dead. So what? And there's this video, if I can find it. The guy really says the way it happened. It's interesting because it looked like they threw this together in 10 days. And everything he lays out makes a lot of sense. So I don't know, man. I think there's something that we're not aware of.
Are you kidding me? There's so many theories floating around about who offed this guy that it's ridiculous. It actually makes the Charlie Kirk situation look simple by comparison. People have poured their entire lives into looking over the assassination of JFK.
Oh yeah.
We're still really no closer to the truth of it than we were all those years ago. We never will be.
With hope, the press and the public.
Most of those people are dead now. The ones that were really involved.
There's a few that are still left. What's interesting is the ones that were really caught up in it are dead. And those files that, if they were under oath and actually gave any kind of testimony, we'll never see those files. We'll never see those files.
LBJ slid on in and we got the Vietnam War. I mean, and that's what they wanted. And by the way, the whole situation with Cuba looking awful damn familiar, because now all of a sudden the Trump administration is talking about doing something about them pesky Cubans.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware they were a problem. Much the same way I wasn't aware Iran was a problem until they said we've been at war with them for 47 years, which is fucking news to me. I mean, I was aware they don't like us very much. I can't imagine why Arab Spring. I can't imagine why Libya. I can't imagine why Gaddafi.
Yeah, well,
we came, we saw, he died. Got to update the soundboard. I got to get the old you know, the other show, the soundboard we had for the other show. I can't use the name, but used to have a rather expensive soundboard of
weird
characters. Yeah, weird. Used to have some stuff here. I got to log in with the other account and pull down the pre-existing stuff.
Oh yeah. I did send you the link there in the chat. I didn't realize it's a 3.5 hour show. But as I said, it is very worth watching the entire episode because there's some things that fit together. They dovetail so cleanly. It makes you think there really is truth to what he's saying. And he has receipts on some of this stuff. He pulled up a couple of videos that I had not seen. I think one of them I had seen on a talk show many years ago, like in the early 2000s. It was from the 90s. It was a UFO video that was, it was so bizarre. The guy actually taped it from the NASA live feed in the 90s. And apparently it disappeared after that. And nobody seems to want to talk about it. But it's so obvious that there was some kind of craft. And the maneuvers that it was making in lower Earth orbit are not, they're not ice crystals. They're not, space gas or plasma. This is an actual, somebody's piloting that thing. And looking at these two different videos, and they're from different times at different places, there's some real credibility there that we're not being given information about. So I know they've dropped a lot of these UFO files, recently. What they're giving us is the ones they don't want us to, they don't care about. It's the ones they don't want us to see that we're not going to get. And those two, they're really bizarre, man. But if you kind of lay some of these lines, Kennedy had ties to the mob. They talked about, that was part of the reason maybe he was taken out because he had made some friends, and then he sent Bobby Kennedy after them. And of course, they didn't like that. And so, word is they conspired to take him out. And then, the Cuban thing, and then the Russians, of course, the Russians came right out and said, hey, we didn't have anything to do with it. Of course, Israel did that with Charlie Kirk too, but that was a little too soon, right? Within just a couple of minutes of him being declared dead. We didn't have anything to do with that one.
Not it. Tag, not it.
We didn't do it. But there's so many other. Dulles was, I don't want to go there, but there was talk about Dulles actually because he was talking about secret societies and the CIA. He said he wanted to splinter the CIA to the four winds, and of course, Dulles, he fired Dulles, and Dulles didn't like being fired, so there was word that maybe he took him out. There's a lot of different theories that go on, and and then of course there's a lone gunman, and the guy just went nuts and decided to take him out. Who believes that story? So
no one with a brain that functions.
What really affects me, okay, my dad met, and I've said this on other occasions, my dad met President Kennedy in '62, I believe. He went to the White House. He actually did meet the president. He was not, he wasn't a real big political guy, but he loved Kennedy, and he couldn't say enough good things about it. He just always telling me what a great president he was and how much he had done for this country. And my dad just really, really loved him. And then, of course, when he was shot, my mom and my dad both were they were devastated. For my 8th birthday, I got the Warren Report. So I grew up learning.
That's a hell of a gift for an 8-year-old.
Telling you, I grew up learning about conspiracies. So I went through that, and I went through it multiple times growing up and reading it and looking at it and going, something doesn't add up. It's too clean. It's too neat. But there's some holes there's some gaps here that don't match. And that's kind of set me on the path that I've been on ever since. And
Well, I grew up on the X-Files, and my dad was into the conspiracy stuff as well. So I was exposed to this long before I ever considered doing a podcast, before podcasts were even a thing, before really the internet was as big as it is now.
yeah,
The
I
things
mean,
just never, I don't know. It's not so much that things didn't add up. It's that things make more sense when you approach them from the standpoint of who gains from what, cui bono. When you start approaching things from that, history begins to make sense in a different kind of way.
that's probably, yeah.
And I was kind of, I'm going to pull up the Jeremy Hambley stuff here after this. He actually had what I thought was, I won't say a good episode, but he brought up good points, which for him is fucking rare. I think we're going to play that one tonight too. And it's the standout because he has been talking about, oh, it's a news drought. It's a news drought. It's a news drought. It's not a news drought. There's plenty of stuff going on that's important, world-shaking news. The problem is he himself is not impassioned by that topic. Or, and this is where my thoughts on Jeremy Hambley, the quartering, and current events lie. Or he doesn't want to touch the topic of Israel or Iran. And I can't blame him for that. But in his arena, he's in the political arena. You can't just not talk about the thing that every other political commentator in the sector is talking about and expect that you're going to have any news to cover at all. There's other stuff, and he could talk about AI data centers. He could talk about, Sam Ellison. You could talk about.
You can't talk about data centers because they make you. If you talk about data centers now, you're becoming a domestic terrorist. So.
But the problem is, if you're not impassioned about a topic, then it's difficult to talk about that. I understand that completely. That's why, like I said, we went like 5-6 months without doing an episode because I didn't give a shit about anything that was happening.
Well,
I'm not saying that there wasn't anything newsworthy in that cycle.
No, we had really good conversations during that time period, but it wasn't good enough conversations to put out anywhere. It wasn't things we wanted other people to know. So, I understand what you're saying. He's siloed himself off basically into an area that he feels comfortable with. But that's not going to get you listens or watches. People are not going to look at that because you're not talking about what they want to hear about. You're only talking about what you want to talk about. And I guess I guess I should look at that myself. But
I kind of understand it too, though, because like I said, if I had tried to squeeze out a show during that time period, the fact of the matter is that I wouldn't have been able to produce a show worth watching. So if I don't have material that I think is worth bringing to people's attention, because I myself don't find it newsworthy or interesting, and I can't get passionate about it, then why the fuck do a show?
Yeah.
But this guy's got millions of subscribers. He's in a pickle because his entire livelihood is tied up in this thing. This is one of the reasons why I'm like, can I really do this full time? I mean, like, even if
do I really want to do this?
Yeah. Is this the monkey's paw?
Yeah, it is. Well, that's the whole story. So, is this the latest one? No, who is this?
That's Gerby. We're not doing that one.
Okay.
At least not tonight. I have to speed this up because he talks.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you all doing? I mean, Tucker Carlson comes out and says he's no longer with the Republican Party. What?
Let's see if I can get added to the list of people. The quartering is getting booted off of the internet. That's a hell of a freeze frame right there. Hold on a second.
Screenshot that one.
Yep. You already knew. Let me try to get a better one there. How about that for a thumbnail?
Party,
go,
whoa!
Keno boys. Keno Casino, here's your another sticker for your show.
Party, whoa!
They're probably still going right now too.
Probably.
Friday night.
Did you watch them the other night?
I watched them Wednesday, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And well, I'm gonna have to watch them in Memorex this evening because they're live.
Yeah.
They've been going live for the last 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, who could have foreseen that? That's not news. I'm sure some people will cover it, but that's not interesting to me. Tucker is fantastic. Sure. If you like Tucker, that's cool. I'm just saying his I'm leaving the Republican Party video was about as predictable as the sunrise. I will look into your...
I don't disagree with him there. And I mean, Tucker himself has said as much for the past 2 years. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Not a
It's not news because the Republican Party has turned into the RhinoCon party.
X-ban Mike.
Look at mine, buddy.
There, you're unbanned or unblocked. There you go, bud.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you say you're...
Wait, did he ban you? Is that what happened?
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about my Twitter feed.
He
my
can't
Twitter
help you
account.
there. He can't even help himself right now.
You're conservative too? No, I've never said that. Tucker pointing out treason in our government is not making him a traitor. Nobody said he was a traitor. It's not like I hate Tucker. I'm just saying he's become very predictable. And excuse me if you like Tucker. Like, I love. Hey, the work Tucker did on the Tyler Robinson case, incredible. He broke all sorts of new information. But when he's like going to Russia, and he's like,
you don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. You don't want to touch it because you don't want to get accused of the things that you've been accusing Candace Owens of. And you don't want to touch Candace Owens because you know that her fan base would clobber you as hard as the Keno Casino is right now, only worse.
Worse.
In an entirely different demographic.
whoa, look at these loaves of bread.
This is the most excited I've ever seen this.
Give me
man.
a break. Or when Tucker denies the existence of a jihad when it's in the Quran.
Receipts, please. I'm going to need receipts on that because I don't think he's ever done that. Ever. And I watch Tucker on a regular basis. I've never heard him say that. Ever. There's no such thing as jihad. No.
I just feel like Tucker's reading off a teleprompter just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And if he's reading something that you agree with, then you should continue to watch him if you like.
Yeah, but he writes his teleprompter. He's been writing it for years.
He can read.
Yes. Unlike you've addled your brain with alcohol, and I would know. I know the side effects. Side effects may include stuttering Stanley.
No.
And even if you disagree with him. But to me, the flip-flopping is crazy. I mean, Tucker Carlson was a registered Democrat for like 20 years when he was in D.C.
That's fucking hilarious. Whoever did the closed caption for this, closed captioned the snort into the fucking CC.
No, I think it's AI. I think the AI is actually doing it, but
no, AI wouldn't pick up on shit like that. You'd have to manually put that in. Somebody did this manually.
See. And then he came out yesterday and said he was a registered Republican for 35 years, which is just a lie. It's just a lie. You know? So I don't know why he would do that. He does every time I'm like, yeah, good job, Tucker. Then he does something stupid. And I'm like, what? Tucker's accepting foreign money to speak out against America. I mean, that's one conspiracy theory that I don't necessarily buy because he's worth isn't he worth like $300 million or something like that? So he's one guy I was always like, I don't know if he can be bought. Could he be blackmailed? Sure, but I'm pretty sure Tucker's above board, you know? Somebody.
Okay, so why his opinions then? Have you considered talking to the man with your connections?
Well,
I'd imagine for somebody like this, being on Tucker's show or vice versa would be huge.
oh yeah.
Could probably use that olive branch right now. So you might want to bury whatever grievances you are pretending to have with him to be contrarian right now. Not you, but this guy.
Yeah, no.
Like Candace or the Hodge twins, sure, they could be bought. Not saying they are. You're saying they could be. But Tucker Carlson's worth like hundreds.
Yes, the pastor didn't show up to the sermon today drunk.
Millions.
I don't know. The Hodge twins could be bought. I just don't see that happening. And I know Candace couldn't. So I don't know where he's getting that from, but okay, whatever.
Hodge twins, again, guys that I've been following on a regular basis for pretty much since 2016. Always struck me as people that speak their minds, and maybe they shouldn't in some cases, but they definitely do.
And they would say probably the same thing about me. I shouldn't say some of the things I say, but I do anyway. So
Sure. Same with me. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here. So I don't know. I mean, could any, to the degree that any person could be bought, I suppose, but lacking any evidence in that.
yeah, no
Why would you
receipts.
bring this up?
Yeah, it's because it's something to talk about, literally. I think he's fishing for a topic, and because we've been, how many minutes are we actually? 3 minutes in, and we're still really just kind of him-hawing.
I'm
Get to
being
the
rather
meat of it.
liberal with the button because I know this guy can be vindictive, and if we're not doing the full fair use, then yeah, problems.
Well, no, but I'm seriously. I mean, he's 3 minutes in, and he's still not covered any topic. So
I might have to 2x this.
Isn't he? He's worth like hundreds of millions. You know, Cutter has a lot of money, but I don't think Tucker's going to like take $50 million to betray his own opinions. I think his opinions have genuinely changed. I really do. Yeah, the Candace husband is super rich. That is an argument against that too. And she's got her 5th kid in like 6 years. Holy crap. Isn't it weird how like some of these big people like Tucker and Candace, whenever I feel like their fans run community notes on X because every time they lie, they never get community noted. Ever. You know the news cycle is slow when like Candace Owens is trending on Twitter. I just never think anyone, it's hard to take somebody seriously when they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars and they pretend to, give a shit about the little guy. The same is true for politicians, Remember, Muslim.
Irony alert. Irony alert. How much is your home worth again, Mr. Hambly?
I don't even want to go there. This is really kind of getting on my little radar here. Has he been hanging around with cash? What is this snort thing going on? I mean, seriously.
Did you drop a baggie in the Library of Congress by any chance? Lost and Found wants a word with you, Mr. Hambly. And now he's on the Muslim thing. Oh, boy.
Muslims are great and white people are craven and sad. I've heard that. I've also heard there's no such thing as jihad.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. Way to misrepresent what he said. Way to take a soundbite out of the many minutes of him speaking on the interwebs out of context on purpose for no other reason than to piss off people like me in Keno Casino, to give your detractors ammunition.
But to give him a little leeway, he's not the only one that does that.
This guy should know better. I mean, he used to be a huge Tucker fan. He's acting like he's yesterday's garbage now.
Yeah.
Does he not realize his own words have been immortalized on the internet?
Probably not.
He's had Tucker clips.
I know.
I'm not pretending like I agree with everything Tucker Carlson says or does. Although to be completely honest, we're probably about 90% aligned.
Yeah.
And if we weren't, I would say so. This doesn't ring true to me at all.
Yeah, I don't know where he's getting these sound bites for. He's getting these particular lines from. I would have to look at the context that he's pulling them out of and say, but look, you don't have the whole story here.
It'd be nice if he provided the context. I think this is part of the reason for the internet beatdown that he's suffering right now.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a big fan of, honestly. It's entertaining when the Kino guys are doing it because I think they're doing it from a place of entertaining folks. But there's no essence to his shows anymore. And the reason for that is, can you pin down his actual opinion?
No, not really.
Neither can I.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, He's been talking a long time, but about what?
I don't know. Do I got a 2X this for real?
No, go ahead. Let's just see how it goes.
Oh, jihad? I've never heard of a jihad. Muslim's good. That's literally the other side of the coin of the left saying, Antifa, it's just a group of ideas. Antifa's not real. It's just a group of ideas. Come on, kids. I know you're better than that. Again, I think Tucker can do great work. I'm just not interested in the beat he's on right now. If he comes back to news that's exciting to me, I'll watch him.
The Iran war isn't exciting enough
Tucker,
for you,
Sean Ryan,
bud?
Hodge twins, and Megyn Kelly all simultaneously converting to the exact same position over the same 6 months. And people on the internet are like, what? You just woke up. Guys,
well, no. The point is, everybody is getting to the point of saying, what the fuck is going on? They're all seeing the same shit. Are you not seeing it? Are you not waking up? What's the deal?
Have you looked into the things that they're saying personally to see if there's any meat behind their arguments, behind their grievances? And if you have, and you've come up with different opinions, maybe elucidate them for your audience who are here for the political takes that you have.
Yeah.
The very thing that you're talking about could actually get you more views. You're going to piss off and alienate half of your audience, but that is the nature of politics. You can't come into this sphere that we're in right now and expect that everybody is going to like you and everybody is going to agree with you.
No.
If you approach this from that perspective, you're going to lose every time. How in the fuck did this guy get 2 million subscribers? How did this happen?
It was a quiet
Yes, I'm salty.
year. It was a quiet year for, I don't know. But what gets me is, you're right. If he were to actually put forth his opinion of what they're talking about, rather than just saying, "Man, I don't get that. Yeah, I think I don't jive with that. That's not real. Let me take that out of context." Put forth your own ideas here. Let's talk. Let's actually have a discussion.
What is your opinion on the Iran war? What is your opinion on Greatest Ally? What is your opinion on anything? Does he have a stance?
I believe I'll have another drink.
Fireball.
Maybe they just changed their mind. Bullshit. What, because they're on YouTube now, suddenly they're not subject to the same bullshit, pull that they were in the mainstream media? Come on, guys. Oh, Tucker Carlson just finally saw the light after 5 years ago. He's like, can we just stop talking about Israel? Israel's good. Can we just stop talking about Israel? Now all he does is talk about Israel. But I'm sure
Okay, but Tucker himself talked about the influence that his own broadcasts were under when he was with Fox News.
Yeah.
So devoid of that influence, he started his own network for that reason.
For that reason, yeah. And
So
maybe you should do that, buddy.
I would think that he's got more of a vested interest in speaking his mind than he does making the big bucks. He could have just kept working for Fox News.
No, I don't think you would have been able to do that.
Well, the irony is he's probably making more money now solo than he ever did with Fox.
Sure he is.
But even if he's not, he would never have been able to produce the content that he's produced since he got away from them.
No.
If he hadn't.
No.
I'm more inclined to believe the things that he is saying now are at least his actual opinions than when he was with Fox News. And I think he had a propensity for speaking his mind even when Fox didn't want him to.
Yeah.
Anyways, he always struck me as the most honest person at that network. And that's why I don't watch Fox News anymore, because he's not there. And he was the only reason I was watching in the first place.
Well, there were a couple of other people that I actually had a vested interest in over the years. I'm not that boomer. I'm stuck on Fox News. There's some things I like about it. I know now there's some things about it I don't like, and I have to use some judgment when I'm watching it, because I know not everything is truthful. But they have some things, they have some very good points, and I do like to see their perspective on the topics that we're talking about. They bring some really good points out, and I watch all the different media. I watch CNN on occasion. I watch MSNBC. I hit the whole gamut just to keep abreast of what the hell they've got going on, because I want to know what kind of lies they're telling everybody else, so I can counter that with the truth. When I go out and talk to people, I want them to be able to understand the points that they're really not getting. So I've got ammunition to actually carry on a conversation, but that's just me. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, man.
Good. Can we just stop talking about Israel? Now all he does is talk about Israel. But
I wish, man. I feel your pain on this one. I don't want to talk about it either, because it's a fucking landmine. Every time you try to approach this topic, you're stepping on a landmine willingly. And that's the way it's been engineered, unfortunately. But we're at the point as a nation where we got to start talking about this thing seriously. Otherwise, we're going down a fucking shithill, and we're going to hit every rock on the way down. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get one of these.
Yeah, 2 of those.
But I'm sure he just saw the light. I'm just sure he saw the light, not the 80% viewership from the Middle East. You think the Hodge twins, who simultaneously post pro-Trump messaging on their Facebook page, because
80% viewership from the Middle East? Is he producing in I don't know, what's a fucking Arab language there?
Farsi?
Farsi, Pashtun? Is he? What the fuck? What are you on, man?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
it's all a bunch of pro-Trump MAGA people that follow them on Facebook, and then Israel deranged posts on X, diametrically opposed opinions within minutes of each other on 2 different platforms. Yeah, they're patriots. Give me a fucking break. Clown.
Like a boomer, you're conflating greatest ally with interests of the United States, and those two things are not the same. I don't know that they've ever been the same. You might make an argument that in certain instances they are the same, but we're kind of getting bled dry financially at a minimum. So I mean, personally, I wouldn't make that argument at all. Anyways, I think it's
the
a
other
terrible
aspect,
idea. War generally is.
The other aspect is they're inserting themselves into every aspect of our country, our intelligence, our military, our voting, everything that they can. I mean, they're even getting involved in this security state that's coming. Where is this gonna stop? Who said they were in control of everything? Who gave them the keys to the country? Hello? We didn't.
We're going to find out.
Clowns.
People are allowed to change their opinion.
Oh, thank you.
Let me be very...
Thanks for that. I'm glad. Thank you, Mr. Hambley. Now I can change my opinion.
I've never changed my opinion.
Clear. People are allowed to change their opinions. But as I tweeted out, I think last week sometime, just let me ask you this. If Tucker Carlson, the Hodgkins, and Megyn Kelly, all within 3 months of each other, suddenly became wildly pro-Israel, what would you be saying? Be honest. Be honest. What would the internet be saying? If Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and Sean Ryan all suddenly became wildly pro-Israel, what would the internet say?
Obvious.
But when they all become wildly pro-Israel, everyone's just like, well, they saw the light, obviously. Anti-Israel. They just saw the light, guys. They just saw the light.
Well, now wait.
They all
are you saying you're pro-Israel? Is that what your point is?
He hasn't picked a side.
Are you just reporting on somebody else's changing their mind? That has nothing to do with your opinion. If you can't state your opinion clearly, what are we listening to you for? Who gives a shit? I know these people have changed their minds. I see it. You don't have to point that out to me. I don't care from that aspect. I have my own opinion on why, but you're not stating your point clearly. You're just making light of what they've done, and this is not journalism. This is not news. I don't even think this is a good opinion. I'm sorry.
No.
No. Go back to snorting, buddy.
Snort. I don't know, man. I understand why he doesn't want to talk about it. I do. It's just if in the political sphere, it's impossible not to trip over this topic.
Well, now, yeah, it's everywhere. But I mean, we've skirted around this for years, have we not? It's the same topic. Yeah. We're the party early.
I fully admit it's and now like all the little fringe things that people used to say, all this. Let me rephrase. All the stuff that was fringe to say like 5 years ago is now like it's now a regular talking point on every major news outlet.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying I necessarily agree with that shit either. It's just now there is no escaping this, bud. If you want to be in the political arena, you're not going to escape this topic, or you're going to have to contort yourself into a different category. You're going to have to change things up and talk, I don't know, tech news or something like that.
Well, didn't he start out doing games?
Yeah, just do the fucking game stuff again, man. I guess that's gone downhill from too. Unsleeved media stuff.
That's where he got all these subs. I think that's where he really started. He was a good gamer. I give him that. Okay, and he had good opinions about stuff that was done out. But now he's changed his mind, and he's gone into a different arena, and he's having to deal. And he's not dealing well. I'm sorry, he's just not. If you want to play, play. If not, get out.
I've thought about this too, man, because, this is why I got into the fiction stuff again, because it just felt like the politics has turned into a fucking minefield, and I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Well, my dad told me when I was growing up, and he told me repeatedly, and this is something that's very common. There are 3 topics you never talk about in public: sex, religion, and politics.
Yeah.
They are loaded topics. There are people have their own opinions, and it doesn't matter what you do. They're not going to change their mind. It's only going to lead to a lot of heartache and a lot of argument. So I get that, but there's a time where those things really do have need of being discussed, and more now politics needs to be discussed. We've not discussed it in 60 years,
and that's why we're in the position we're in right now, because adults would not have the conversations about stuff like this, and now we're here.
Yeah,
and it's going to get to the point where you can't. I mean, we saw the beginnings of this back in 2016 when You had Republicans that were getting booted off of primarily YouTube left and right, but
well,
basically all over the social media verse.
Instagram,
And he was
Facebook.
among the people that suffered from that.
Yeah, he was. Maybe that's what he's done. He learned from that aspect and doesn't want to go back there. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, there could be some of that. And now basically, I don't think he was doing it full time at that point. He was one of the OG guys monetized in the gaming space.
Yeah.
But now, like, his entire net worth is tied up in that show. That folds. It's not like he's going to go get a corporate job or something that will make up the same level of income.
Well,
he's an internet person now. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's not going to go back to. He's not going to go to a vocational school for welding and at his age and do that.
Why not? I know some people that have.
I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't. I'm just saying realistically, he's not going to.
He's not going to. No. If things crater for him, if he loses a lot of sponsorship, or he's not as monetized as he has been, what is he going to do? Where do you go from there?
Going off from what the Kino guys have been saying, it sounds like he is in financial dire straits. He's probably going to wind up having to sell his house. I mean, he lives in a fucking $2 million mansion.
Hey. All of us are in dire straits right now, but
But he's still
life
paying.
Is hard.
He's paying. He's still got his mortgage on it, and he took out a home equity line of credit. So for his coffee company, which fucking flopped. Against my better. I won't even. I don't. How do I actually word this? I actually feel bad for the guy. For as much as I'm dogging him right now, because I do remember watching his channel earlier in his career, and I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't find him very entertaining, so I didn't sub to him for very long.
Well, there was a period of time where I really enjoyed his topics and his presentation. I would sit through the whole show.
Yeah, he had a lot more energy. He actually put some effort into editing his stuff.
Yeah.
I really do. I believe there are some guys, they're just not meant for live streaming. The stuff that I've been doing for years, all of my stuff is edited. I don't need all the ums and uhs and coughs. And, if I put all the, lip smacking noises or whatever, no one's going to watch that shit. I wouldn't fucking watch that shit. I don't think if stuttering Stanley. I think there are some people that are skilled enough to be able to do a live broadcast. Obviously, like, the radio guys I was mentioning before, it takes a certain talent and dedication, and that most folks don't even think about when they're speaking publicly. Like, speaking in a live format is far different from having a conversation with somebody or, doing a school presentation or something like that. You have to not fuck up consistently enough to hold people's attention. And that's not an easy thing to do.
That's my problem.
It's not an easy thing to do. And, for guys like me who didn't really start developing their speaking skills really to a professional level until like the halfway point in my life. And even now, like, a lot of the stuff that I learned, I unlearned because I stopped doing this for so long. It's like,
well, you had a very good background. You had a very good foundation. You learned from a lot of individuals that went through a lot of experiences, and you gleaned some of the best information from them to allow you to develop your own style. I think that was a good point in your career. You went through that, but there's a point where you've got to be yourself. You can't keep relying on as we were talking about that chameleon thing, you can't keep doing that. You've got to it's got to be you. And you've done that now. I just don't know why we don't resonate with the rest of the crowd. It just
Well, what I was getting at is I realized that my style of broadcasting, if you can even call it that, requires editing. And that for me to forego that editing process, if I was just to take this and slap it up on the internet,
oh yeah,
no one's going to fucking watch it, and I wouldn't blame them for not doing it.
We played in that sphere. We literally did. We did live shows, and we actually had people. We had quite a few people listening to us. So I can't really say that's absolutely true. You do have the ability. I do think you do a really good job of editing, and you put out some really good material. I don't know why. Is it the algorithm? Is it me? I'm a bad wingman, I guess. I don't know. But
I didn't say that.
I did.
I don't think I've ever said that.
No, I know you haven't. But I mean, we've been doing this for quite a while, and we've been on different platforms. We've done different styles. We've different formats, played with different things, and we're still where we've always been. And I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, I did have the one short that I put out.
I saw that
earlier in the week.
Congratulations.
Which was interesting. Almost, it was within 5 or 6 hours. That thing was taken off, and they just nuked it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a 10% like ratio on that fucking video.
Yeah.
That kind of ratio, that's like something huge channels get.
Well,
so for them to have pulled it after that point, I'm like, okay, I see what's fucking going on here, man.
Yeah.
But at least they test bedded something, and that's the first one that I put out, and it's a short. I usually get 0 on that shit, man.
No, there's apparently something going on with the algorithm for shorts right now, and I'll send you something that I found 2 days ago. I have to look it up because I've bookmarked it. But there is something, and it made sense when you told me about that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is the truth. This is real. But yeah, for them to nuke it, I see where there's a problem there.
Yeah. It's going too fast. It's going too fast. Like, I already knew even if it went up to like 100 or 200K, I'm not getting any subscribers from it because even the bigger channels don't.
They don't. And at this point, I don't know what those bigger channels, how are they continuing to get more subscribers? Because, well, I know YouTube is actually nuking accounts or unsubscribing them from accounts. And that's a really dirty trick. They're padding people's numbers the way they want.
They've been doing that for years. They've been doing that for years, man. I remember when Alex Jones was talking about that back before his channel got nuked. They were doing that shit to him. So.
Well, I'm even seeing it some other small accounts.
Yeah, I think it's automated, and I don't know. I don't know anymore, man.
I'm sorry, I took you off the topic.
I don't even know what the topic is anymore.
We were talking about the short. That was a really good. I was like, oh hell yes. Number one, I love the short. You did a really good job of editing. And then to see the numbers climb like that, I was like, yes, we're getting some traction. And then nothing. It died. What happened? What's going on here?
They pulled it. I'm not exactly sure how it works with the shorts either, because unlike videos, you can't view impressions.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why, but obviously it requires impressions for people to see it. So it's just a metric that you're not allowed to see for whatever reason.
Why would that not be included in your analytics?
I don't know. It might be that like the numbers would be so absurd that you wouldn't really be able to get anything out of it.
I
guess TikTok would show you that, but I don't know. Let me pull it up now.
Do you want to play with that platform?
No. Not really. I didn't even want to do shorts. It's just when I went through the last episode that we did, we had so many banger little things to pull out. I'm like, I might as well. And, you know, if anything, I could use them for a sampler for other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it paid off there for a little bit.
I was thinking about doing like an intro styled like we used to do.
Oh, yeah.
And pull like, you know, some of the banger lines we had and then make like a little musical interlude beginning thing. I didn't wind up doing that, but anyways, these were the result.
It's like, why are they doing this again?
Well, I'm not trying to deflate your bubble here because I already understood when I saw that thing climbing. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then my next thought was, but it doesn't matter.
No, I really
most I might get like 5 subs per 100,000 views. That's being generous. Most
at that
shorts
meteor
don't generate.
That meteor climb that you were doing there, I mean, that was phenomenal to be going at that pace.
It's because I used the word Trump. That's the only thing I could figure because I put Trump in the title.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, which I don't typically even cover that topic, mainly because
the machine got around to actually listening to the short and then went, oh no, we can't do that.
Now, I don't know. I mean, there's no, the other thing is a lot of the clips that I was going to use, I can't use without using a fine tooth comb on some of the language.
Sorry.
No, it was mostly me.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Fuck it. I don't know. Can't please everybody.
Well,
at least it's honest to the material.
And dude, are we really here to please everybody? I'm here to please me. I'm sorry. I'm doing this to get some things off my chest. And if somebody likes it, great. If they don't, that's their opinion. You know, and I have no problem with people having their opinion.
I can't do the same grift that Jeremy Hambley is doing. You know, his 2 million subscribers, you can keep it if that's the price you got to pay. And
well, but you're not getting a check either, so.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if I'd want to live that life.
Well, I mean, that's where you fall into that gap. Either you get paid and you get paid to play, or you sit at the bottom like we have been. I don't know. I mean, it's the only thing I can think because I've done looking at different things. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. But you know, I know you have a really different perspective on this whole situation. We've done this before. We've gone through all this stuff. We've looked at analytics. We've played the numbers. We've played the games. We've just not gotten paid. We don't do sponsorships. We don't take money for saying things that we don't believe in.
No.
And I'm not going to. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Never been approached. Never been approached. So.
No, and I don't think we will. But I think I'm going to be approached, but it's not going to be for the good.
No, it'll be shut up. Never been approached to. I don't want to be either.
Yeah,
it's
no.
Probably not in the cards, which I consider a net good, really.
Yeah. No, I'm just worried about the knock at the door, or not.
Well,
Those guys, they won't knock. I guarantee you.
No, you just get a bag over the head. Into the windowless van you go.
So, where do we go from here?
Well, yeah, I'm probably wrapping up for the evening here. Actually, I'm just going to end it here.
Yeah,
because I don't know what else
I
to
was
say.
looking at. I was looking at the number at the timer, and I was like, and we've gone quite a bit. You're gonna have hell editing this one, yeah.
Fork. So.
Sport me.